Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're at Ryan's house again, R&D Auto Works. Coming to sneak up on him, see what the heck he's working on today. Yoo-hoo! What's going on?
Oh, not much. Just looking at Project Camero here.
Project Camero? What are you doing to this thing? What are you doing to this thing?
So this one's getting the full LS conversion on it. So it had the 5.7 with the 4-bolt main in it. We pulled that out and we put the LS3 in it. So we're just getting all that fabricated up and getting it ready to run soon.
Wow, it looks pretty nice. What all do you do to this chassis anyway?
So we've done the QA1 suspension on it all the way around, coilovers. QA1 front sway bar with end links. We've done new calipers, new brake lines, new tie rod ends. I integrated the front power steering rack and pinion from Flaming River. Work's still in progress, but it's getting really close.
Look at all that chrome.
That's all vintage air front accessories.
Wow.
With the ATI dampener. Put the dirty dingo mounts on it to clear so we can slide the engine back and forth to where we need to mount it. I went with the Holley oil pan so it clears the cross member. And I'm still modifying the headers to clear this bullshit here. So
oh yeah, that's gonna be an issue.
Still some modification to do on it, but it's getting closer.
But looks like you got some custom steel braided fuel lines.
Yep, dash 8.
What is that? Is that a fuel pump or is that just
a fuel filter?
Jesus.
Yep.
An anodized
E85,
fuel.
That's E85 compatible. He's just gonna be running regular pump gas in this LS engine, but I made all the lines all the way back to the fuel tank here to the Holley fuel tank with a Walbro 460 sitting inside the tank to supply enough fuel for the LS3 engine, which is more than enough. Wait.
So what do you got going on here for wiring?
So we went with the GM harness from GM, of course. Comes with your fuse block. Comes with your computer connections going inside the firewall, which needs to be hard mounted on the crash bars on the inside. Still gonna have to rewire everything all up, and it's a lot of work. So for our clutch setup here, I fabricated a bracket here to come underneath the master cylinder to feed the master cylinder to the clutch master cylinder that goes down to the slave cylinder inside the transmission.
So what do you got going on here with the steering setup? The steering shaft.
This is a Flaming River kit. So this guy goes all the way to the inside of the car to the Flaming River steering column, factory tilt steering column. Comes all the way out to the power rack and pinion. And for the upper end of these fuel lines here, which are dash 8 fuel lines, we're going to run a fuel pressure regulator coming up here on the firewall that feeds into the back of the rail. And then from the bottom of the regulator is a deadhead setup. It's going to feed back into the fuel tank.
So what you got over here?
So this is a 72 TR6 Triumph from Britain. We're doing a bunch of modifications to it. Rear suspension is one piece that we're modifying here. British Parts Northwest sells a full kit. You should check them out if you guys have TR6s on there. Basically, you got 2 bolts that mount over here on the frame of the car that goes to a KYB shock, and it gets rid of this junk here, which, I mean, it probably was great back in 1972, but they wear out, they're under pressure all the time, so just not an enjoyable ride. So they make this kit here for those cars. Very easy to bolt on. We had to remove the tranny tunnel in here to get the 2 top bell housing bolts to the transmission. That was really interesting. So this is the transmission out of the vehicle right now. It had severe leaks coming from the top here, so I'm going to check the fluid level, make sure it's not overfilled from the last owner. Replace this gasket. We're doing a full clutch kit. The rod just comes right out on these rigs, so you can basically just take them out and replace this whole shaft and spring kit, and British Parts Northwest sells that as well. Another thing we're doing right here is doing all the bearings, the hubs, the All the bushings here that are all rotted out, we're going to be doing those from British Parts Northwest as well. So these are all the parts I'm going to be replacing on the TR6, front shocks, all the bushings for the front A-arms, lower control arms. This is that rod I was telling you guys about in the transmission itself. That guy, they really recommend that you replace this guy at the same point of doing the clutch and flywheel on that guy. Rear main seal, of course, you always want to do that stuff. New slave cylinder. And this stuff is all from the British Parts Northwest. Those guys are really good out there, very helpful. I would highly recommend them.
So I've always wondered how these wheels are held on anyway, so you want to show me how to do that?
So actually, there's just one, basically essentially one lug that holds these wheels on, and you have a spline shaft that sits on the drum itself. And basically this is just one big wing nut. And simply just
But so you'd want to grease those splines up pretty good before putting your wheel back on?
Yep. So you put the wheel back on, grease the splines up, grab your lug nut stuff, and then you just thread it on just like a normal lug.
Then how do you get it good and tight?
Mallet. So you just take a mallet and you hit it in the opposite direction of the arrow. The arrow tells you which way to undo it.
All right, man, well, I think I'm gonna take off. So hopefully this thing's running next time I come over so we can go for a quick drive.
For sure, man. Yeah, thanks for stopping by and checking out R&D Auto Works. Next time she'll be rumbling for sure. Either one of these two projects. This one's gonna be getting done here quicker than this one, guaranteed. But
Right on.
awesome. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and check out rndautoworks.com.